The small single-propeller airplane hums steadily through the high blue sky, tracing a quiet path above the vast interior of Australia. Below, the land stretches in every direction, an enormous canvas of rust red, muted orange and faded gold that seems to go on without end. Dry riverbeds wind like pale veins through the earth, their courses carved long ago by rare and heavy rains. Patches of hardy green scrub and spinifex grass cling to life, dotting the landscape with subtle colour. From this height, the outback feels both empty and full, quiet yet powerful, holding stories that have been whispered across thousands of years. Inside the small cabin, the world is reduced to the gentle vibration of the engine and the soft tremor of the wings as they meet the air. The horizon is wide and uncluttered, and the sun sits high, casting a bright, almost shimmering light over the land below. Heat rises from the desert floor in faint waves, turning everything into a mirage of shifting shapes and softened edges. The airplane follows a thin ribbon of road, straight and pale against the deep red earth, a single line of connection between distant towns and isolated stations. Now and then, a lone building or windmill comes into view, then drifts quietly out of sight again. Far ahead, the outline of a small outback town begins to take shape, slowly emerging from the haze of distance. There is a short, dusty runway that looks almost too modest to receive an aircraft, just a cleared strip of earth and gravel that seems to fade into the desert around it. A few low buildings sit nearby, their metal roofs glinting in the sun, along with a scattering of vehicles parked in no particular order. Beyond the town, the land is once again open and spacious, rolling away into low hills and flat plains that fade into the horizon. The airplane dips its nose gently, beginning its descent toward this quiet centre of the Red Heart. As the plane draws nearer, details come into focus. A cluster of eucalyptus trees stands off to one side of the runway, their long leaves shimmering in the heat. A handful of birds circle lazily in the sky, catching the warm air currents that drift upward from the ground. A distant dust cloud moves slowly along the road, as if some unseen presence is breathing across the surface of the earth. Even before the wheels meet the ground, there is a sense that time moves differently here, unhurried and unbothered by the crowded clocks of distant cities. The landing is simple and soft, the tyres touching down with a brief puff of dust. The propeller slows and the engine's steady hum falls away, leaving a profound and complete stillness in its wake. Outside, the air is dry and warm, carrying with it the faint scent of dust, sun-heated earth and distant gum trees. The silence feels almost alive, as if the land is listening, as if it has noticed that another traveller has arrived. Every sound, from the crunch of footsteps on gravel to the soft creak of metal as the airplane cools, seems gently magnified against the quiet. Around the small airstrip, life moves at an easy pace. A ute rolls slowly past, its tyres leaving shallow tracks in the sand, while a dog rests in the thin shade beside a shed, watching with calm, unhurried eyes. Somewhere nearby, a magpie calls out with a clear, flute-like song that hangs briefly in the air before fading. The town itself appears modest and compact, yet it feels anchored, as if it has grown out of the land rather than being placed upon it. The buildings are practical and sun-faded, but there is a certain warmth in their simple lines and weathered surfaces. In the distance beyond the runway, a long, low shape begins to emerge along the road, growing slowly larger as it approaches. It is a road train truck, an immense convoy of connected trailers drawn by a single powerful cab. The vehicle glides forward with a patient inevitability, carrying supplies and stories along the endless highways that cut through the outback. Dust rises softly around its wheels and lingers behind it like a pale veil. Its journey is long, measured not in short city blocks, but in hundreds of quiet kilometres between towns and roadhouses scattered across the desert. As the road train passes, it becomes part of the larger rhythm of the place, another moving piece in this wide and spacious landscape. The truck disappears into the sunlit distance, following the pale ribbon of road that stretches across the horizon, and the countryside settles once more into stillness. The gentle rustle of dry grass, the hum of insects, and the occasional cry of a bird form a soft, subtle background. It is a soundscape that asks very little, inviting the traveller to relax, to breathe more slowly, and to let go of the noise carried from elsewhere. Even in this first quiet hour, the outback begins to reveal itself as a place of layered calm. The land is vast, yet it offers small details for anyone who takes the time to notice, from the patterns of cracked earth at the edge of a dried puddle to the delicate shape of desert flowers blooming close to the ground. Everything seems carefully spaced, with open air between thoughts and moments, allowing the mind to stretch and soften. As the day leans gently toward late afternoon, the light begins to warm and mellow, promising that the coming days will unfold at their own tranquil pace, guided by red earth, long horizons, and the slow, reassuring heartbeat of the desert. Welcome to Bedtime Travel Stories, where soothing tales and gentle narrations take you on a tranquil journey through the world's most enchanting places, right from the comfort of your bed. Unwind and travel with us as we explore the globe one story at a time, helping you relax and drift into a peaceful sleep. The first steps into the small outback town feel like entering a place shaped as much by silence as by sun. A narrow dirt path leads toward the cluster of low buildings seen from the air, their corrugated roofs glimmering beneath the late afternoon glow. The heat has begun to soften with the changing light, leaving the air warm but no longer intense, as if the day itself is exhaling. Red dust lifts lazily under each footstep and settles again without hurry, as though the ground is accustomed to this slow rhythm. Along the edges of the path, tufts of spinifex lean gently, their straw-coloured blades catching the light like tiny embers. The entire scene carries a sense of steady calm, the kind that seems to expand the longer you walk within it. Near the centre of the town, a handful of buildings stand in a loose arrangement, some made of simple timber, others of sun-faded metal, all with a look of having endured countless warm seasons. A small general store sits beneath a shaded awning, its wooden sign gently swaying in the breeze that has begun to rise. Beside it, a workshop opens toward the street, with tools resting neatly on shelves and the faint scent of engine oil drifting out into the open air. Nearby, an old water tank rises above the rooftops, glinting faintly in the slanting sunlight. The town is modest, yet every corner feels purposeful, shaped by the necessities of distance, heat, and community. People move about at an easy, unhurried pace. A pair of locals lean against a railing outside the store, chatting in low voices. A child rides a bicycle down the dusty street, leaving behind a faint swirl of red earth. A working dog trots by, tail wagging slowly, pausing to inspect the new visitor before wandering toward a patch of shade. There is no rush, no tension, only the steady rhythm of a place that has learned to balance presence with patience. Even the breeze seems to move mindfully, carrying with it the scent of warm soil, eucalyptus leaves, and distant smoke from a small cooking fire. Toward the edge of the town, a broad veranda shelters the entrance of a community building. A few people gather here as the evening settles in, sharing quiet conversation and preparing for the gentle tasks that accompany the fading light. Warm smiles greet the traveller, and a sense of welcome lingers even without many words exchanged. The Outback has a way of offering hospitality through simple gestures, an open doorway, a shared seat, or the steady presence of someone who knows the land intimately. For a moment the world feels smaller, shaped by connection rather than distance. Beyond the main cluster of buildings, the land opens once more into wide, sunlit stretches. Eucalyptus trees scatter across the horizon, casting long shadows that flow like dark rivers along the ground. Their leaves shimmer with a silver-green glow each time the breeze stirs, filling the air with a faint, calming scent. Here and there, birds glide overhead, gailers, cockatoos, and the occasional wedge-tailed eagle scanning the plains with slow, deliberate circles. They appear not as spectacles, but as natural movements within the scenery, part of the quiet pulse of life that rises from the desert floor. A little farther down the track, a fire crackles near a circle of stones, sending a thin line of smoke dancing into the evening sky. A small group sits around it, speaking softly, their voices carrying a gentle cadence that feels both ancient and familiar. They are residents of the land whose families have lived here for countless generations, sharing space, time, and stories beneath the same wide skies. One of them nods in greeting as the traveller approaches, offering a place to sit near the glow of the flames. There is no formality, no announcement, only a simple, intuitive sense of welcome. The warmth of the fire settles easily into the cooling air, bringing a feeling of grounding and quiet comfort. As the conversation flows, the traveller learns through observation more than words. The soft gestures of those gathered echo the land's own rhythm, unrushed, thoughtful, shaped by deep understanding. Someone points toward the horizon where the sky has begun to shift from bright gold to soft violet, noting how the colour can tell stories of weather, wind, and time. A small piece of burning resin is added to the fire, releasing a fragrant smoke that drifts upward in gentle spirals. Everything that happens around the circle feels connected to the land, woven into its larger pattern like threads in a tapestry. When the sun finally sinks below the edge of the desert, the sky transforms into a vast bowl of twilight, faint stars beginning to appear like small sparks above the horizon. The fire glows more warmly now, lighting the faces of those nearby with a soft amber hue. The traveller listens, not searching for meaning, simply absorbing the calm presence of people who live in harmony with this immense landscape. The day has been full yet unburdened, unfolding in a way that encourages a slower breath and a quieter mind. Night settles gently over the town, offering a serene close to the first full step into the Outback's embrace. As the last traces of daylight fade, there is a sense that tomorrow will reveal more of the land's quiet wonders. But for now, the evening remains still and peaceful, holding space for rest beneath the deepening sky. Morning arrives gently, carried on a cool breeze that moves across the open land like a slow breath. The sunlight rises softly over the horizon, turning the sky from deep violet to pale rose, then to a warm gold that gradually washes over the town. Shadows stretch long across the red earth, thin and delicate at first before settling into their places for the day. The distant hills glow with soft colour, as though the rocks themselves are waking. It is a peaceful morning, calm enough that every sound seems to ring clearly. The faint call of a bird, the rustle of spinifex, the creak of a wooden post shifting with the warming air. Nothing rushes, and the new day feels open, spacious, ready to unfold at its own pace. Not far from the town, a small group gathers near a simple wooden corral built from sun-weathered posts. A few camels stand inside, their gentle faces framed by soft morning light, their long lashes blinking slowly as they survey the world. Their movements are deliberate and unhurried, each step as steady as the rhythm of the desert itself. Some of them shift their weight with a low, rumbling sound that resonates through the still air, while others chew quietly on dry feed. They seem entirely at home here, blended into the landscape like living dunes that have taken shape and begun to wander. The traveller approaches with curiosity, watching as one of the handlers lifts a hand in greeting, then begins to prepare the animals for the journey ahead. There is no ceremony to the process. Everything happens naturally, without haste. Saddles are fastened, straps checked, and small bundles of supplies secured in place. The camels accept each gesture with calm patience, their large, gentle eyes taking in the scene with quiet understanding. These animals have carried people safely across long distances for generations, their sure-footed steps and enduring strength making them perfectly suited for life on the Red Plain. When the time comes to begin, the traveller climbs onto the back of one of the camels, settling into the sturdy saddle as the animal rises with a slow, rolling motion. The movement lifts the world into a new perspective, offering a view that stretches far across the land. From this height, the vastness of the outback becomes even more apparent. The wide horizon, the distant line of hills, the subtle textures of the earth. Every direction feels open, unobstructed, as though the land is inviting travellers to journey deeper into its quiet spaces. The small caravan moves away from the town, leaving behind the cluster of buildings that now appear faint and miniature against the expanding landscape. The camels walk in a gentle rhythm, their long strides creating a soothing sway that calms the body and softens the mind. Fine red dust rises around their feet in soft clouds, catching the sunlight like drifting gold. Eucalyptus trees scatter across the plain, their leaves stirring quietly in the breeze. Now and then, a bird glides overhead, its elongated shadow crossing the earth with graceful ease. Everything in this early morning feels balanced, as though the land itself has settled into a perfect stillness. As the group continues, the terrain shifts subtly. Low shrubs and spinifex give way to flatter stretches of sand where the wind has carved faint ripples. The warm scent of the earth rises with each step of the camels, blending with the coolness of the breeze that drifts across the plains. From somewhere in the distance comes the faint call of a crow, echoing across the open land. The sound is both solitary and familiar, a reminder that life persists in quiet ways even across such immense spaces. The camels continue on, steady and unfazed, moving as if guided by an instinctive knowledge of the desert. Eventually, the caravan reaches a shallow rise that overlooks a broad, sweeping expanse of red earth. Here the travellers pause, allowing the camels to rest while everyone takes in the view. The horizon rolls outward in gentle waves of colour, each shade blending seamlessly into the next. A faint shimmer dances above the ground where the heat is beginning to wake, though the air remains cool. There is a silence so complete that it feels almost like a presence of its own, a companion that travels with anyone who wanders into the heart of the outback. It is a silence that gives space for thought, reflection, and breath. Nearby, one of the handlers points toward a cluster of small, hardy shrubs and explains in a soft voice how the plants survive long periods without rain. There is no lecture, no formal teaching, only a simple, thoughtful sharing of knowledge passed down through generations of living closely with this land. Each detail feels rooted not in textbooks, but in lived experience. The traveller listens quietly, appreciating the gentle way the story unfolds, weaving practical understanding with a deep respect for the desert's rhythms. The land feels fuller somehow, enriched by the quiet exchange. After a time, the group begins the return journey. The camels shift once more into their gentle stride, carrying their riders back toward the distant outline of the town. The sun climbs higher now, brightening the red earth and deepening the shadows beneath the eucalyptus trees. As the breeze warms, the scent of the desert grows richer, filled with dust, leaves, and the faint sweetness of wildflowers that bloom close to the ground. The world moves slowly, deliberately, and with a tranquil certainty that lingers long after the ride comes to an end. The day begins with a soft glow rising along the far horizon, slowly turning the sky from the cool blues of dawn into warmer shades of amber and pale gold. The air holds a crispness that lingers only in the early hours before the sun fully warms the land. As the traveller prepares to set out again, the town remains calm and unrushed, its few morning sounds carrying clearly through the spacious air. Somewhere in the distance, a kettle whistles, a dog barks once, and the breeze shifts gently through the eucalyptus leaves with a sigh-like whisper. Beyond the final edges of the settlement, the long, quiet roads wait, stretching outward in unwavering lines. They offer not destinations, but journeys, vast and steady paths through the heart of the outback. A utility vehicle arrives near the main track leading out of town, its tyres crunching softly on the red soil. The driver, a local with a calm demeanour shaped by years spent travelling these distances, nods toward the passenger seat. There is no schedule, no urgency, only the understanding that the road unfolds when people are ready to follow it. Supplies are packed efficiently into the back, and the traveller settles into the warm fabric of the seat as the engine hums to life. Soon the vehicle rolls forward, leaving behind the town's faint silhouette and moving into the open, sunlit expanse of the desert. The landscape opens quickly, filling the view with an immense sense of space. The highway is long and pale, a thin stripe of asphalt and dust running straight through the horizon. On either side, red earth stretches toward distant hills, softened by a veil of heat that has already begun to shimmer. Eucalyptus trees stand in loose clusters, spaced far apart as though balanced carefully across the plain. Occasionally, a pair of kangaroos appears in the distance, their silhouettes barely moving in the early stillness. They are part of the scenery here, not startled, not hurried, simply present. After some time, a faint rumbling begins to rise behind the travellers, subtle at first, then gradually deepening into a powerful vibration that seems to fill the warm morning air. The driver glances into the rearview mirror with a knowing smile before guiding the vehicle slightly to the side of the road. A moment later, the source of the sound emerges, a road train truck, long and commanding, pulling 3 full trailers behind it. The massive vehicle moves with surprising grace for its size, gliding forward in a straight, determined line, its engine humming with a steady confidence. As the road train passes, dust lifts in its wake like a thin veil drifting upward. The trailers sway almost imperceptibly, held in rhythm by the force of the truck's movement. It continues down the road until it becomes little more than a shimmering shape in the distance, eventually dissolving into the horizon. The traveller watches its journey with a quiet sense of awe, not because of its power, but because of its presence. In a place this vast, the sight of something so large moving so steadily feels like a reminder of the scale of the outback itself. The vehicle resumes its pace, following the long road as it cuts through the endless plains. Small details reveal themselves gradually. The way shadows gather under the shrubs, the subtle colour changes in the earth, the gentle slope of the land rising and falling almost imperceptibly. Now and then, a wedge-tailed eagle circles above, wings outstretched, gliding with effortless control. Its silhouette casts a slow-moving shadow across the earth, a reminder of the wildness that thrives quietly across these empty distances. Each part of the scene feels intentional, as though the land is composing its own soft, unspoken poem. Eventually, the vehicle turns onto a narrower track that leads deeper into country known for its layered stories. Here, the traveller meets a small group waiting near a stand of trees, offering a calm wave of greeting. They share a moment of rest beneath the shade, where the ground feels cool and the branches rustle softly above. Conversations drift gently through the air, soft voices exchanging thoughts about weather patterns, the appearance of certain plants, and the subtle signs the land offers to those who pay attention. It is not a lesson. It is a quiet moment of knowledge carried forward through lived experience, shared naturally and without pretense. After resting, the journey continues until the vehicle reaches a wide lookout where the land opens even further. From here, the view is uninterrupted for miles, rolling outward in expansive waves of red, gold, and soft brown. The silence feels deeper than before, though not empty. It has a presence, a quiet companionship that settles gently around anyone who lingers in its embrace. The traveller steps out into the breeze, feeling the warmth of the sun across the shoulders and the faint coolness of air rising from the earth. The long road behind now feels like a thin thread connecting the morning to this moment of stillness. As the afternoon light begins to mellow, the travellers continue onward toward the next destination, knowing the road will shift, narrow, broaden or vanish, and reappear in ways unique to this landscape. The outback asks only for patience, offering in return a sense of clarity that comes from travelling through such wide open space. The day slowly leans toward evening, promising new colours in the sky and gentle, unhurried stories that will reveal themselves in the chapters ahead. As the day unfolds, the long road gradually leads toward an area where the land begins to rise in gentle, rounded forms. From a distance, the rocks appear like soft silhouettes resting against the sky, their shapes smoothed by time, wind, and the endless rhythm of shifting light. The colours deepen as the sun moves westward, reds growing warmer, browns settling into richer tones, and the air taking on the faint scent of heated stone. The traveller steps out of the vehicle as the ground slopes upward, feeling solid earth beneath each footstep. The rocks hum with the warmth of the day, still holding sunlight in their surfaces like quiet memories. The landscape shifts subtly with each step further into the rocklands. Smooth boulders lie scattered across the ground in forms that seem almost placed deliberately, shaped by natural forces into gentle curves and horizontal ridges. Low shrubs cling to cracks and pockets of soil, their leaves trembling in the soft afternoon breeze. Trees with long, slender limbs lean across the rocks, casting delicate shadows on the surfaces below. Everything feels thoughtfully arranged, as though the land has taken great care to create a place that is both rugged and gently inviting. The traveller follows a faint path that winds between the stones, drawn forward by the calmness of the terrain. As the afternoon light begins to mellow, the traveller encounters another small group resting beneath the shade of a tall, wind-shaped tree. They greet the traveller with a quiet nod and gesture toward a comfortable place to sit among the rocks. The conversation that follows is unhurried, filled with long pauses that feel natural and unforced. One of the locals points toward a smooth rock face and describes with subtle hand movements how the patterns of shadow and light change throughout the year. There are no instructions, no formal explanations, only shared observations that have been shaped by long familiarity with this land. Listening feels like dipping into a deeper current of time. Nearby, a small fire is prepared, though not yet lit. Instead, fragrant leaves are gently crushed between fingers, releasing a warm, earthy scent that drifts through the air. The group sits with an easy sense of comfort, as if acknowledging that the land itself provides much of the atmosphere. Birds perch quietly on the branches above, their silhouettes outlined against the deepening colours of the sky. Their calls echo softly between the stone formations, carried far across the open spaces. Each sound blends seamlessly with the landscape, contributing to the slow, harmonious rhythm of the evening. As the sun descends further, the rocks begin to glow with a rich amber hue. The warm colours spread across the surfaces, highlighting their curves and textures as though the landscape has come alive with its own quiet light. Shadows deepen in the crevices, forming soft pockets of coolness that contrast with the warmth above. The transition between day and night feels gentle here, with no urgency or abruptness, only gradual shifts in tone and temperature. The traveller absorbs the peacefulness of the moment, feeling the weight of the world ease slightly beneath the expansive sky. Eventually, the small fire is lit, and its orange glow brings a soft, flickering warmth to the gathering. Flames reflect off the curved surfaces of the rocks, casting patterns of light that ripple gently across the ground. Someone adds a piece of resin or bark, releasing a fragrant smoke that rises in a thin dancing ribbon into the darkening air. The group shares a quiet sense of companionship, shaped not by conversation alone, but by presence, humans, land, fire and sky, woven together in a simple harmony. The fire crackles softly, creating an intimate contrast to the vast silence beyond. Night approaches slowly, revealing one star, then another, then many more, each appearing with a soft brightness that feels both distant and comforting. The sky spreads wide above the rocklands, an immense canopy dotted with ancient light. The first coolness of evening settles gently across the stones, tempering the warmth held from the day. The traveller leans back slightly, letting the sounds of the fire, the breeze and the faint calls of nightbirds blend into a soothing tapestry. The land, which had carried such heat only hours earlier, now feels restful and open. As the stars multiply, one of the locals gestures toward a particular cluster in the sky and shares a quiet comment about its seasonal appearance and the stories associated with it. The words are soft, almost carried away by the breeze, yet the essence of the moment remains, a brief glimpse into the deep connection others have cultivated with this ancient place. The traveller listens with respect, absorbing not only the story but the tone, the cadence, and the sense of reverence the land inspires. With the fire burning low and the night fully settled, the traveller senses that the rocklands hold a peacefulness unlike anywhere else encountered so far. Tomorrow may bring new journeys, but for now the evening rests gently around the gathering. The stars shimmer softly above, the earth cools beneath, and the outback continues its quiet dialogue with the night. Morning arrives with a soft, pale light that spreads slowly across the plains, illuminating the subtle rise and fall of the desert floor. As the traveller continues the journey southward, the land begins to shift once again. The red earth becomes paler in places, stretching into long open tracts that shimmer beneath the sun. Low hills appear in the distance, dotted with small mounds that seem scattered at random across the horizon. Their shapes are unusual, conical, chalky, and unmistakably human-made, marking the landscape with a quiet story of work and persistence. This is opal country, and its unusual contours hint at the world hidden beneath the surface. Coober Pedy emerges gradually from the dust, not as a traditional town with streets and rows of buildings, but as a scattering of entrances, doorways and vents embedded into the earth. Much of the town lies below ground, tucked into the cool layers beneath the surface, where the temperature remains steady even during the hottest days of summer. The traveller steps out into the warm, open air and feels an immediate contrast between the brightness above and the promise of quiet shelter below. A simple stairway carved into the hillside invites entry, and the feeling of descending into a new, unexpected environment begins. Inside, the temperature drops to a soothing coolness. The walls are made of smooth, pale stone, their surfaces textured by tools and time, glowing softly under the warm light of simple fixtures. The quiet hum of underground air seems to absorb every sound, creating a stillness unlike anything experienced above the surface. Rooms open gently from one to another, forming a network of cosy spaces carved directly from the rock. The traveller runs a hand along the wall, feeling the fine, chalky surface crumble lightly under the touch. a reminder of how this entire place was shaped by human effort and patience. As the traveller moves through the underground passages, murals, small carvings and simple decorations appear along the walls. Each detail feels personal, shaped not to impress, but to bring warmth and life into a place where the outside world barely reaches. A few quiet voices echo from further down the tunnels, residents going about their day, preparing meals or tending to daily tasks in spaces that feel both practical and deeply comforting. The rhythm of life underground is slow, deliberate, and surprisingly peaceful. Returning to the surface, the traveller steps into the bright daylight once again. Above ground, the town spreads across a landscape marked by opal fields, wide stretches dotted with shafts, piles of stone, and the equipment used to sift for treasures hidden deep below. The mounds rise in soft cones across the plain, their shapes catching the sunlight in pale gold and off-white tones. The air smells faintly of dust and mineral-rich earth. There is a sense of quiet determination here, an acknowledgement that the land gives up its treasures only through time and perseverance. A local resident greets the traveller with an easy wave and offers a moment of shade under a simple awning. They speak with gentle clarity about the patterns of life in a town where much happens beneath the ground. Their stories drift between the practical and the poetic, how storms sound different through layers of earth, how coolness settles deep into the stone, how the night sky above feels impossibly wide after hours spent underground. The traveller listens as the breeze moves softly through the space, carrying the scent of warm rock and desert air. Later, the traveller follows a path that leads toward the outskirts of town. Here, the land opens into quiet stretches of space where the horizon feels close and far at once. The sun leans lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the pale mounds of earth, turning them into smooth silhouettes against the glowing light. A wedge-tailed eagle circles far overhead, its wings wide and steady, moving effortlessly through the warm currents rising from the ground. Its quiet presence adds another layer of calm to the scene. As evening approaches, the traveller returns to one of the underground dwellings. The soft coolness envelops the space, offering relief from the lingering heat outside. Lights cast warm glows along the carved walls, creating gentle arcs of illumination that sway slightly with each shift of the air. The underground stillness feels soothing, as if the earth itself is lending a sense of calm. The sounds of the outside world fade into quiet, replaced by the rhythmic steadiness of a space held safely beneath the surface. Night eventually settles over the desert, but underground the transition is subtle. The traveller rests in the dim, peaceful glow of the carved room, feeling the cool stone embrace the quiet. Somewhere above, the stars shine across the open sky. But down here, the landscape holds a different kind of peace, steady, grounding, and deeply restful. The outback reveals itself in layers, and today it has offered a glimpse into a world where calm lives beneath the earth. The journey continues away from the underground quiet of Coober Pedy and into a wide, unbroken stretch of country where the land seems to breathe with an easy, ancient rhythm. The late afternoon sun spreads its warm glow across the plains, giving every shrub, every stone, and every curve of the earth a soft burnt orange hue. The road eventually narrows into a simple track, guiding the traveller toward a place chosen not for landmarks or facilities, but for its openness. Here, distance becomes a kind of companion, steady, constant and comforting. The air moves gently, carrying with it the faint scent of dry grass and warm soil. The vehicle comes to a stop beside a low stand of desert oaks, their branches whispering quietly as the breeze plays through them. The light has begun to shift toward its evening tones, deepening from gold to amber, then to a dusky orange that stretches far across the sky. The traveller steps out, feeling the temperature slowly ease. The land is vast but welcoming, offering a tranquil sense of space. The soundscape is simple, a stirring of wind, a distant crow's call, and the quiet settling of the earth as the day prepares to rest. A small camp is arranged with ease. There is no need for complexity in a place that already feels complete. A simple mat is laid out on the ground, a low fire ring is prepared, and a kettle is placed nearby, ready for the first boil of the evening. The sun dips lower and the breeze shifts, carrying cooler air from distant hills. The warmth of the day lingers gently, but begins to retreat, making room for the evening's soft embrace. Shadows stretch long across the plains before gradually dissolving into the gathering dusk. As the fire crackles to life, the flames send a warm glow dancing across the ground, illuminating the red earth in gentle flickers. The kettle hums as it heats, releasing a faint wisp of steam that blends with the smoky scent drifting quietly into the air. A cup of tea, simple, warm and unhurried, brings comfort as the traveller sits close to the fire. The surrounding landscape grows dim, its colours fading into silhouettes that blend seamlessly with the horizon. The outback seems to hold its breath in calm anticipation of the night. Not far away, a pair of emus move slowly across the plain, their silhouettes long and graceful against the fading light. They walk with a gentle confidence, unstartled by the presence of the camp. Beyond them, a kangaroo lifts its head, pauses, and then bounds away in soft, rhythmic motions. These brief glimpses of wildlife are subtle and unforced, woven gently into the background like familiar notes in a quiet melody. They serve as reminders that life thrives even in the most spacious and seemingly empty places. As the sky deepens into twilight, the first stars appear, small, delicate points of light shimmering above the horizon. More follow, gradually filling the sky with a tapestry that seems larger here than anywhere else in the world. The Milky Way begins to emerge as a soft river of pale light stretching across the heavens, its glow gently mirrored by the faint gleam of the fire below. The traveller leans back, letting the immense quiet of the night settle around them. Time feels slower now, measured not by minutes but by the steady arrival of stars. In the stillness, the sound of distant wind plays a slow, soothing tune through the desert oaks. Their branches sway with the ease of old trees accustomed to the rhythms of the land. The fire crackles softly, sending tiny sparks upward that vanish as quickly as they appear. Everything around seems to move in harmony with the night, calm, gentle, unhurried. The traveller feels a deep sense of grounding, as though the open plains have unfolded a space where thoughts may rest without weight. Eventually, the fire settles into glowing embers. The air cools further, bringing with it the crispness of desert night. Wrapped in a warm blanket, the traveller lies back on the mat, gazing upward into a sky overflowing with stars. There is no sound now but the faint, steady pulse of the land beneath and the occasional whisper of wind across the plains. The vastness above and the quiet below blend into a single peaceful presence. As sleep begins to settle, the stars continue their slow, constant shimmer. The fire's warmth fades into the night, and the traveller drifts gently into rest beneath the outback sky, embraced by open space, ancient earth, and the timeless calm of the plains. The first hints of dawn arrive quietly, long before the sun itself appears. A faint glow stretches across the horizon, turning the darkness into a soft gradient of blue and lavender. The air is cool, almost crisp, carrying with it the delicate scent of dry earth that has been resting all night beneath the open sky. As the traveller rises from the mat, a feeling of absolute stillness surrounds the campsite. No breeze, no distant calls, only the quiet presence of the land waking slowly after the calm of night. The embers of last evening's fire glow faintly, their soft warmth lingering in the coolness of the early hour. Gradually the landscape brightens. The outline of distant hills becomes visible, curving gently like the smooth shapes of ancient dunes. Shadows retreat, shortening inch by inch as the sky lightens. A soft wind begins to stir, brushing gently across the plains and moving through the desert oaks with a sound like a long, slow exhale. The wind carries no urgency. Instead, it feels like part of a ritual that begins each day, a natural rhythm shaped by time and open space. The traveller stands in the quiet glow, absorbing the peace that comes with morning in the desert. Breakfast is simple and comforting. A kettle is placed back on the warm embers, sending a swirl of steam into the air as the water begins to heat. The smell of tea, mixed with faint smoke from the rekindled fire, creates a calming fragrance that settles easily into the early light. Beside the small flame, bread warms on a flat stone, turning golden at the edges. The traveller sits close, wrapped in a soft blanket, savouring the warmth from both the fire and the rising sun. There is something grounding about preparing food in a place so open, every action feels connected to the land itself. As the sun lifts above the horizon, the desert transforms. The red earth brightens first, glowing with a soft radiance that spreads outward across the plains. Then the shrubs and spinifex begin to shimmer, their golden tones catching the new sunlight. Finally, the sky shifts into its full colour, blue, vast, impossibly clear. A group of gailers flies overhead in a loose, unhurried formation, their rosy feathers glowing against the morning light. Their calls echo softly, blending with the whisper of the breeze and the quiet crackle of the fire. After breakfast, the traveller begins walking across the plains, guided by gentle slopes and natural paths that appear between the shrubs. The morning air remains cool, but warmth builds slowly with each passing minute. Footsteps leave soft indentations in the red earth, which rises in faint clouds of dust before settling again. Far off, a lone kangaroo pauses on a ridge, watching for a moment before disappearing behind a curve in the landscape. These subtle movements of wildlife feel like acknowledgements, quiet greetings exchanged between traveller and land. The walk leads toward a cluster of low, rounded rocks that rise from the plain like smooth islands in a sea of red soil. Shadows fall gently across their surfaces, forming patterns that look almost painted by the early sun. The rocks offer shade and a place to rest, and the traveller settles against the warm surface, listening to the soft hum of the desert wind. It carries stories in its quiet movement, shifting sands, ancient trails, and the breath of a place that has existed long before memory. The land feels welcoming and steady, offering space for reflection without demand. A short while later, a small group approaches from the far side of the rocks, moving with the calm confidence of people who know this land deeply. Their presence is soft, unforced, blending naturally with the morning rhythm. They greet the traveller with warm nods and share a moment of gentle conversation. One of them kneels to trace a line in the red earth, explaining how the patterns left by wind across the sand can reveal the direction and strength of recent weather. The explanation is simple, grounded, not instructional, just a quiet sharing of knowledge shaped by daily life in the desert. Together they sit beneath the shade for a time, watching the light move gradually across the ground. A faint scent of crushed leaves drifts on the breeze, carried from where someone has gently rubbed a sprig between their fingers. The traveller listens as the group speaks softly among themselves, their voices blending with the natural sounds of the morning. There is no hurry to move on. The land encourages a slower rhythm, one that allows each moment to be felt fully. Eventually, the group stands, offering a warm gesture of farewell before continuing across the plain. As the sun climbs higher, the traveller returns to the small campsite, sensing the afternoon will bring new roads and new landscapes. But for now, the morning remains fresh and open, filled with the gentle presence of wind, sunlight, and the vast red desert. The Outback has a way of offering clarity in quiet ways, and today, dawn has unfolded like a gentle promise, a reminder that the land holds endless moments of calm for those who take the time to listen. The warmth of the early sun settles comfortably across the plains as the traveller prepares to move onward once more. The morning air is clear and lightly scented with dust, eucalyptus resin, and the faint smokiness of last night's fire. Each breath feels unhurried, carried on the slow rhythm of a landscape that never demands haste. The track ahead, little more than a pair of worn lines through the red earth, extends toward low hills softened by the rising light. As the traveller takes the first steps along it, the ground crunches gently underfoot, and a sense of quiet purpose fills the open space. The path is shaped not by design but by repetition, created by years of footsteps, tires, and wandering wildlife. Along its edges, small shrubs lean in the direction of the prevailing wind, their branches forming delicate shapes against the amber glow of morning. The traveller walks steadily, feeling the gentle give of sand beneath each step. Occasionally, a gust sweeps across the track, lifting a thin veil of red dust into the air before letting it settle again in drifting patterns. These subtle movements of the land feel almost like conversations, like soft greetings exchanged between earth and sky. As the track curves gently around a cluster of desert oaks, the traveller encounters a small campsite where a few locals are gathered. They are seated near a low fire, its embers glowing faintly as tea heats in a metal pot nearby. With a simple gesture, they invite the traveller to sit, and the air around the group is filled with the peaceful familiarity of people who have shared countless mornings beneath these same trees. A warm cup is offered, the kind brewed strong and steady, meant to be sipped slowly. The tea carries notes of earth and smoke, grounding the moment in the essence of the land. Conversation flows in soft waves, shaped by long pauses and short phrases that say enough without needing more. The group speaks about the shifting winds, the patterns of clouds far in the distance, and the tracks left in the sand overnight by wandering animals. One of them traces a shape in the dirt, a looping curve broken by several small indentations, explaining quietly how it reveals the movement of a lizard searching for warmth the evening before. The explanation feels effortless, a blend of observation and instinct born from generations of connection to this terrain. After finishing the tea, the traveller continues along the track as it begins to climb gently toward a series of rolling rises. The land opens wider here, revealing valleys of muted green where spinifex grows in soft, rounded clusters. A pair of wedge-tailed eagles circles high overhead, their wings steady as they glide on the morning thermals. Far below, their shadows drift across the plain like soft brush strokes of moving shade. The traveller pauses for a moment, watching their slow, graceful orbits, feeling how the sky appears larger in their presence. The track soon narrows into a faint pathway threading between rocky outcrops. These stones are smooth and pale, shaped by centuries of wind that has polished their surfaces into gentle curves. In the shade of one such rock, a cool pocket of air lingers, offering a brief respite from the growing heat. The traveller rests here, listening to the soft murmur of wind weaving between the stones. It is a soothing sound, one that seems to echo the heartbeat of the open desert. The stillness feels deep, layered with time and quiet meaning. On the far side of the rocky rise, the pathway widens again, revealing a stretch of land where the colours shift subtly into softer tones, ochres mingling with dusty greens and hints of brown. In the distance, a group of camels moves slowly across the plain, their long shadows stretching behind them in the morning sun. Their presence feels familiar now, steady, unhurried, part of the rhythm of the outback. The traveller watches them fade gradually into the light, feeling as though the land has shared another small story. As midday approaches, the track meets a shallow creek bed, long since dried, its surface patterned with cracks that form delicate, natural mosaics. The traveller follows the creek bed for a short time, enjoying the slight coolness that lingers in places shaded by overhanging branches. The wind picks up again, carrying grains of sand that whisper across the ground in soft sighs. The desert seems to breathe gently around the traveller, welcoming each footstep as part of its ongoing, timeless movement. Standing at the edge of the creek bed, the traveller pauses to take in the view stretching far beyond the rises and plains. The horizon feels near and distant all at once, shaped by subtle colours and gentle slopes. Tomorrow will bring the final chapter of this journey through the outback, a peaceful conclusion shaped by the calm rhythm of the land. But for now, the day continues in quiet harmony, unfolding with the unhurried grace that has guided each moment so far. The afternoon light stretches long and low across the open land as the traveller follows the last section of the track toward a quiet rise overlooking the plains. The ground softens underfoot, the sand loosening into fine grains shaped by the day's warm winds. Sparse shrubs sway gently, their narrow leaves brushing softly against one another, creating a faint, rhythmic whisper that moves with the breeze. The horizon unfolds in a steady, unbroken line, touched lightly by the golden glow of the descending sun. Everything feels unhurried, as though the land has prepared itself for a restful close to the journey. At the crest of the rise, a broad view opens, a sweeping panorama of red earth, scattered trees, distant silhouettes of hills, and the vast sky above, painted with the colours of a softening afternoon. The traveller pauses, letting the stillness settle deeply. This place feels familiar now, shaped not only by the physical landscape, but by the many quiet moments spent moving through it. The hum of morning winds, the steady stride of camels, the cool shelter of stone, and the warmth of fires shared with generous companions. Each memory seems to rest gently on the air, blending with the light. As the sun lowers further, the traveller prepares a small resting place on the sheltered side of the rise. There is no need for much, just a blanket, a comfortable mat, and a small kettle positioned near a circle of smooth stones, ready to hold an evening fire. The breeze shifts, carrying a scent of eucalyptus and warm soil, mingled with the faint sweetness of distant wildflowers that open at dusk. Shadows lengthen across the plain, softening the contours of the land and easing the heat that lingered through the afternoon. A fire is lit, its flame rising in slow, steady flickers. The light dances gently across the traveller's resting place, illuminating the surrounding rocks and brush with a warm glow. The fire crackles, releasing small sparks that drift upward before dissolving into the air. The kettle warms quietly beside it, and soon the soft scent of tea fills the space, grounding the moment with a comforting familiarity. The traveller wraps their hands around the warm cup, absorbing its heat as the first stars emerge overhead. The sky deepens gradually from gold to rose to deep blue, then finally into the profound darkness of a desert night. One by one, constellations appear, sharp, shimmering points of light scattered across the immense canopy above. They form patterns both known and ancient, their stories echoing faintly through the quiet. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a soft river of brightness, its glow mirrored subtly in the fire's gentle reflection. The vastness overhead feels welcoming rather than overwhelming, like a calm companion settling in for the night. In the distance, a few night creatures stir. A soft rustle moves through the shrubs, followed by the faint call of an owl echoing from a hidden perch. Farther away, a gentle thump marks the movement of a kangaroo hopping slowly across the darkening plain. Their presence is subtle, never intrusive, simply part of the nocturnal rhythm that awakens as the sun fades. The traveller listens with quiet appreciation, feeling connected to this gentle ancient pulse of the outback night. As the fire burns lower, the air cools and the breeze becomes softer, brushing lightly across the traveller's face. The land feels wrapped in its own tranquillity, held beneath the watchful glow of countless stars. The traveller lies back on the mat, drawing the blanket around their shoulders, and lets the earth's steady stillness settle through them. The fire shifts into glowing embers, casting a faint, steady warmth that blends seamlessly with the night's embrace. Looking upward, the traveller reflects on the journey, the roads stretching endlessly across red earth, the kindness of people who offered their stories and quiet company, the peaceful moments shared with camels and campfires, and the shelter found both above and below the ground. The outback has revealed itself not through spectacle, but through subtleness, in the pause between breezes, in the glow of evening light, in the space that allows thoughts to soften and settle. These moments linger now, like soft echoes in the calm night air. The stars shimmer gently overhead as the traveller closes their eyes, feeling the last of the fire's warmth beside them. The outback seems to breathe with the night, calm and steady, offering its wide sky as a blanket of light. And beneath that vast, peaceful canopy, sleep arrives quietly, guided by the timeless rhythm of the land and by the deep, restful silence of the Australian desert. We hope you enjoyed today's serene journey and found peace in our gentle narration. Do join us next time as we make a relaxing visit to another of the world's most iconic places. Sweet dreams and safe travels until we meet again.